All right. We're good. Okay. Earlier today, in sweltering conditions at IKON Park, the Geelong Cats defeated the Carlton Blues by 17 points. Thank you very much. Final scores, Geelong 10 goals, 13-73, defeating Carlton 8 goals, 8-56. Blues are hot out of the gate with 2 early goals, but it was the Cats who took control of proceedings soon thereafter, nailing a string of scores to take command of the glorified training session. Clearly, the biggest concern out of the game was Cam Guthrie, who was helped off the ground probably within the first 10 seconds and did not return for the rest of the day. We'll need to wait and see what the scans reveal in the coming days. Good to see Shannon Neal and Ollie Henry looking very impressive, marking strongly up forward. Tanner Bruin dominating the midfield with heaps of possession, and Max Holmes started a little bit slow, a little bit inconsistent, but came to life in the fourth quarter there. Looked really good off that half-back line. Overall, sloppy affair. It's February, though. Footy's back. You got to be happy with that. Lots of promising signs. Thank you for joining me, everyone. My name is Ben Reeve. This is the Hoops Crew Media Network, and this show is the very first show of the first of what we hope is many for the year, post-game live shows. So, yes, it's the preseason. Yes, it's not even a proper practice match, but we're kicking it off nice and early. So what we might do is I might bring in my first guest for tonight. See what he's got to say. Jake, how is things with you, Jake? I'm sure you watched a little bit of the game on KO. What were your thoughts? I'll turn your audio on. There you go, mate. If that works. No good.
At my end.
That's probably your end. There you
Great
go.
start here. I've just hit the mute button. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good to see some footy back is what I'd say first off. I mean, I know it was, as you said, glorified training session, which it definitely was. But nice to see the Cats out running around again. Is what I would say. It wasn't so nice to see Cam Guthrie stop running around inside the first 30 seconds, but for the most part, everyone stayed running around for 2.5 hours.
It was pretty good. Did you get to watch all of the game? So a lot of people probably tuning in, and thank you to those who've just jumped in the last few minutes. A lot of us are probably working, maybe snuck a peek here or there. Were you able to see much of the game, or were you listening to the game? How did you consume it today?
Yeah, look, I've forgone all employment this year just to focus like a monk on Geelong footy. So I got to watch every minute, every glorious, 25% speed chase down every moment. So yeah, no, I watched the whole thing end to end. I wanted to watch the VFL part of the game, but KO said no, we're not streaming that part. So yeah, no, I missed out on that. So I watched the full game.
Jeez. Okay. I was a bit disappointed because we were pretty excited to see some of the VFL boys run around, but unfortunately, we're just going to have to hear about it in print, I guess. So hopefully someone's from the club's going to share some news about that. But look, we're back. We're back, Jake. It's been a long summer. The Cam Guthrie thing, 10 seconds in. I guess there'll be some people wanting to talk about that on the show tonight, but it's really disappointing for the fella, isn't it?
Mm.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah. Are we premiership favourites, mate? Is it too early to go with that? Is it? Should we just maybe wait a little bit longer?
No, the lid's off as far as I'm concerned. The lid's definitely well and truly off. I think top 4, is pretty much a lock. It's hard to see anyone getting within, 2 to 3 goals of this side until maybe midway through 2025. I'm pretty happy with what we've seen out of a match sim. As far as little things that I gleaned personally, I thought Tanner Bruin looked really good. There was a few who obviously butchered the ball a bit. He was one of those guys, particularly in the first half, probably by foot. He shortened it up and sharpened it up a bit in the second half. I just thought his work rate all afternoon finding the footy. I don't know what the stats were, but he must have had 20 plus touches is what I would imagine. But just constantly getting involved, winning the ball, providing an option for a teammate to receive a hand pass. He was probably, if you ask me for my votes, it'd probably go Bruin 3, Brian Myers 2, and Ollie Henry 1. Bruin definitely stood out for me.
Yeah, we'll have to. I was thinking about do we do votes, but it's just a match sim. We'll say we are doing votes this year, people. We're doing the Hoopies a bit later, but we might start that round 1. I think the first game of the year. Jake, thanks for jumping on, mate. Appreciate you. We'll catch up soon, buddy. Take care, mate. A couple of comments in the chat. Jake Grover Guitar says Grind, Myers, Brownlow. Yeah, easily. Give it to him now. You might as well. Sarcastic Cow says, I thought I'd sneak a few minutes in while at work. Saw Guthrie incident and felt sad the rest of the day. Didn't we all? Wasn't it horrible? Well, what can you do? All right, let's see. Brendan, how you going, mate? Now, I can almost guarantee you were at the game today. Please tell me you were. Oh, hang on. You're on mute as well, I think. Are you? That's better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfect now.
Didn't think that was working. No, actually,
at the game today.
No, I work split shifts. So I work early morning and then late afternoon. So I got to watch the whole game as well. So no, I couldn't. I didn't get to go out there, but and also Bianca was at school, so she hasn't seen the game yet either.
Okay.
But no, I definitely watched the whole thing, and the first 5 minutes were a bit shaky there. I mean, the first kick, we lose Guthrie, and then all of a sudden, didn't look like we were going to get an inside 50 at all. So, but then, loved how we turned it around. That was, yeah.
I was chatting with Terry from Blue Abroad on his podcast YouTube show the other day, and I was just telling him how perfect the preseason's been. I said, there's pretty much everyone's playing. There's like 3 guys that might not play. And then 6 seconds in, bang, Guthrie. So hopefully it's not too bad. But if you're familiar with this show, familiar with watching me, I lose my head a little bit sometimes. But are you a bit more excited about the Essendon game in about 8 days' time? That's at home, so I'm assuming you'll get along to that one at Kardinia Park.
Yeah, we'll beat that one for sure. But yeah.
No, it's good. It might be time to. I'm going to try and catch up a little bit on the highlights again. There was a nice Jessa goal. I don't know if you saw that one. And the Ollie Dempsey mark as well. That was pretty handy. So couple of good highlights, really.
There were. Yeah, Brian Myers. I actually was thinking, geez, Brian Myers is a chance for the Brownlow the way he played today. I don't think I saw him make a mistake at all.
No, he's perfect.
I didn't think he could get any better than he was last year. Who knows how well he could play in the future? Obviously, it happens every year. We get really excited about the first preseason game. I remember last year. I think we play Hawthorn.
Yes, we did, and the 2 Henry brothers just run amok.
I was thinking, grand final tickets. I thought, geez. So.
It was, it's the first game. We'll take a deep breath, but I appreciate you jumping on, mate. Mate, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see it next week on the Friday. I think it's a twilight-ish or late. Yep. It's kind of an end of work kind of day game. It's not really night-ish, but I think it's from memory, it was like 5 o'clock or 5:30 or something like that. So, hope to catch you at the game, buddy.
Nah, you will.
Say hi to Bianca and the kids for me, and everyone else for me.
Yep, we'll do.
Take care, buddy. All right. So we've got Jack next. Jack, how's it going, mate? All the way from WA.
Yeah, it was a worse time for us to watch it. I think I barely rocked up at work by the time the actual game started. But it was good. I mean, outside of the obvious, in Calamity striking within, 8 seconds?
About that.
I feel like we got most of what we needed out of that game. Kids through the midfield, Shannon Neal looking good up forward, DK had his mojo back for the last 3 quarters. I liked a lot of what I saw.
Yeah, that was. You can't expect to take much out of these things, but it's just an opportunity for the guys to have a bit of a hit out with each other and play someone else other than their mates the whole time. So But yeah, what's the weather over there in WA? Because if you're watching this from Victoria, and most people probably are, that whether you're in Geelong or Melbourne, it's about 40 degrees today. It's cooled down a little bit now, but what's Perth doing at the minute?
Yeah, that's what it's been for us for the last few weeks. Today and yesterday, the first couple we've had under 35 for about a fortnight. So actually relishing in a 30, 33 degree day, which would have been unthinkable 6 months ago. But
the cool breezes of a 33 degree day. Very nice.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm digging the setup in the background too, by the way, I should say. The Joel Selwood memorabilia, whatever it is. The
one of 355 replicas on there.
Very nice.
Figured it was the best place to film for this. I think the Heat owes a lot to the lack of pressure at some points. There was a couple of goals that I think went either way that the defense was a little bit lacking, and you can't expect much from boys when it's that hot. They're not going to be doing that during the season. They're probably not training in that weather. They're going to be training morning or evening. So a lot of it's owed to that in terms of pressure. And I just liked what I saw we had Bruin in the midfield looking really good. Bo's looking damaging with his run. He looks a lot leaner, I think, than last year. That could have just been me, but
I think that's,
and then almost more importantly, watching Neil up forward was awesome. I think it'll be hard for him to. I think it'll be hard for him to nail a spot because it's so tall up there already, especially if Rowan's fit. But he just he looked really dangerous at all times, and I really liked it.
It's a shame. I was saying to Jake before, shame we couldn't get to see a bit of the VFL because I really wanted to see how some of the other bigs went, like Phoenix Foster. There might be some footage from the club that maybe comes out in the next few days or so. But the KO coverage cut out pretty much at the end of the AFL level, so that's a bit of a shame. So, So you'll be? I'm assuming the practice match next Friday will kick off around about what's Perth time? Probably about 3:00 in the afternoon Perth time. So
yeah, it's a bit better. I'll probably take a sneaky early afternoon that day so I can watch it from home instead of trying to pretending I'm being excited at spreadsheets in the office.
I must admit I had to do that for the rest of the day, and I was like, I just want to get home and watch the highlights. I actually was playing the audio of the game in the car on the way home. That's how desperate I was to consume a bit of footy content today, but it is tough, mate. I really appreciate you jumping on. Oh, sorry, I'll cut you off.
No, you're all good. I was going to say, I sat through about 15 minutes of golf waiting for the VFL to start today, so I actually really wanted to catch Foster and especially Stevens and a few of the newer boys. So yeah, I agree. Hopefully there's some footage of that, but.
Good to see. I think Manor do some good things, but it's just hard to get a read on it. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it, mate. Catch you on the next one.
See you later.
Take care, buddy. All right, we're going to cast the net a little bit further now, overseas. So, who have we got online here? Hello. Who have we got today?
How's it going? Hey, Ben.
Hey.
So I'm Benjamin Castle. This is my brother Ethan. We are the Americans watching the footy. He's the Geelong member here, but he's kind of catching up on the game as we're
as we all are
doing things right now. I was off work today, so I was able to watch it from home. It was a 4:30 p.m. start for us. Currently, it's a 19-hour difference right now between us and Melbourne. 17 for most of the year.
Okay.
And the biggest thing that I was getting out of it was just kind of normally preseason focus is just kind of taking a look at the new blood, seeing, how kind of the new groups mesh together. And from, a bit more of an outside perspective as a non-Cats member, I was pleased with the mix of the younger midfielders there. Took a little bit for Jai Clark to get up to speed. I think he overthought things a little bit in the first half, but got better as the game went on. Bruin was the most solid out of the younger pack who played in the middle all game long. Noticed that it was Holmes and Stewart really stayed back for, I'd say, the first 3 quarters before finally venturing to kind of places we'd seen him prior in the fourth, which I know that it had been kind of suggested through training, but was fun to finally see in game.
It was, wasn't it? It's nice to see some players in different roles and just to see how that works. And look, you will start round 1 and we'll probably see things just go back to normal. Maybe a tweak here or there, but it is good to see. And you don't want to give away too much either, but it is good to see some players in different roles and see how they go. And sometimes that exposes some other players as well to having greater responsibility in particular situations and see how they cope under that pressure.
That was certainly how it was for Bruin today.
Yeah, so I thought Bruin was great. I thought he was fantastic. I have heard a bit of comment on the socials about Jai just looked a shade off. So hopefully it's a practice game. It's 35, 36 degrees temperature or whatever it was. I don't think we judge him too harshly, but yeah, it's we want to. Hopefully he'll get a decent run in the seniors this year. That's probably the main thing.
Was looking at the weather report today, and it looked like both the wind and the temperature were pushing 40. And I'm also glad that they got everything through before some of the smoke started coming in. Been following reports of the bushfire out in the Central Highlands.
It's about probably 50 miles, 70 kilometres away from Melbourne. So I think the wind's blowing it away, the smoke away from Melbourne at the moment. But
okay, good.
That's Victoria. That's Australia for you this time of year. Yeah. It's always pretty nasty. Thanks for coming on the chat, guys. We'll have to get you on next. We'll get you on next week.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
I was talking mostly. Ethan should have.
Yeah, I'm just. Out of the parts that I did see. First off, seeing Shannon Neal actually nail a shot is really encouraging because he's such a good mark. It's just he's got to improve the kicking accuracy. Yeah. He didn't have the ball a ton, but Kola Jashney looked like he was making much better decisions out of the back than he did last year because he had some really rough ones last year where just, taking it out of the goal square with decisions has just made no sense. Seeing Bruin start to get more involved in the middle of the ground, I think, one of the concerns or questions for this year is what are we going to get out of kind of between him and Holmes? Who's going to, be a wing? Who's going to be on the interior? And other than that, just pretty positive. Just, it's what it is. You're facing maybe half of Carlton's regular team, but they look sharp. Yeah. The instincts look good. Just, they're communicating well. You're not having, two guys getting each other's way going for the same mark. Just they're not beating themselves right now. And if you can keep that up, that's honestly just a really good baseline to set, and it's going to give you a high floor.
Yeah, the other thing, I'm with Ethan with all that. I think this is kind of the right sort of year for Shannon Neal to really break out. He's been under Hawkins and Cameron's tutelage for a couple years, and we're still at the point where he's not going to get those big priority one-on-ones. So if there's a year for him to really start asserting himself at the top level, it will be now.
I think you're right.
The one other thing that I noticed was trying to see just how they work in both Reece Stanley and Toby Conway, because, you guys had me sold on Conway last year. And after just watching the one game he got against the Dogs, I was in. And it was interesting in that game, how they kind of managed both of them and sometimes had Stanley playing further forward. And it's just as the year goes on, how are you going to utilize both of them? Because I think there is room for both of them, which wasn't what I would have expected at first. And I'm taking a lot out of just that one game last year at the end of the season. But I think there's some room there for both of them to be involved.
That's going to be the challenge, isn't it? You've got the two tall ruckmans that would probably have a claim on a spot in the side, but then you want to get Shannon Neal in the side as well, and possibly maybe even a couple of games for Phoenix Foster, maybe. So it's how do you fit them all in? Clearly there'll be some injuries, there'll be some load management, all that sort of stuff that goes on through the year. Hopefully, as much as it would pain me to see Hawkins, or I don't think it'll be Cameron, but to see one of those really drop off and deteriorate, you really want to see one of the young guys take their spot, and that'll just give you more confidence for the future. And I don't want to be the guy that retires Tom Hawkins, but I do want to be the guy that really wants one of the young guys to sort of step up and take it. I just don't want to have a situation like years back when Gary Ablett Senior retired and we got Brett Spinks or Kent Kingsley. It's going to be. It'll come one day. It's what it is. But
you need far more than 22 or 23 AFL ready guys, and this is encouraging towards having 30 to 35 guys that you can really trust giving top level games to, and that's what you need entering the season.
Yeah. The other big thing that I was wanting to watch, I'm really keen on seeing how Sean Manna and Brad Close are going to be implemented, because I can see some similarities with them. Both have just great stamina, and you can see them both going well on the outside. There was a moment in the fourth quarter that was really encouraging, because Manna only saw action really in the second half, but you saw Manna and Close linking up on the left side, on the outside, to set up Pat Dangerfield for his snap. I would love to see. I wasn't sure. Ethan and I talked about this briefly in our episode that is probably going to drop tomorrow, perhaps. But I would love to see Manna and Close continue to link up in some way, or maybe have them play opposite each other and both have that same sort of slingshot role, kind of from the center wing on forward, because they're both plenty capable of that.
No, definitely are. You mentioned Brad Close. I don't like it. I know it was hot, but put the sleeves back on, Brad. I can't handle it.
I don't like Close with the short sleeves. I don't like Tom Atkins with a clean shaven face.
I've heard that it's grown back already. That's how it just grows back just like that. So it's all good.
Yeah.
I got to keep moving, guys. One more.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Nah, all good.
Yeah. Before
Appreciate
we leave,
we'll get you on next week. I'll send you the link.
Yeah. Before we leave, just want to say congratulations also to everybody's Geelong Twitter friend Rudy Edsall and his partner on having their newborn twins.
Very good. Rudy was going to come on tonight, but he's still in the hospital. So shout out to Rudy and his family. Congratulations to you all. It's one of the best things that can ever happen to you. So fantastic stuff. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it coming on.
Thank you.
Take care. All right. Who we got in the chat now? Pom. We've got someone from the other side of the fence. I'll get Pommy on.
Hey, Pommy Dinklin.
How you been? How's everything going? How did your boys go today?
You asked me that today. Hey, yeah, it was obviously. I mean, let's be honest. I was quite adamant, and I'm sure Geelong, you guys are the masters of getting to finals. I don't think you'll read into this game too much. It was a training game between kind of frenemies, we'll call it. But no, it was obviously for my Blue Boys. You could see we were working on quite a lot of different things that we didn't work on last year. So that was good to see. And you know what? It was good. I've got a soft spot for you guys, because for those who have seen me on here before, I told you the story last time. I nearly became a Geelong fan.
That's right.
So I don't believe in second teams, but there is a little bit of my black Pom heart that does like the Cats.
I was telling Terry the other night that I've got a soft spot for Carlton, which is funny because 1995, if you're young and old enough to remember that. But it just reminds me of the team that's coming up and it's just starting to sort of have that success finally after so much amount of pain. So, but I also said, don't be like Richmond and stay at the top for too long. We don't or Hawthorn. Have your little success, and then as long as it's not our expense, and then you can go away again. So,
you know what was really, really delightful for me is when I think of you guys, I always say you guys are the masters. You're ruthless in basics. I always think that's what Geelong's strength are. You guys are ruthlessly efficient in the basics of football, which makes you so hard to beat. I really enjoyed to see just the adaptation of your ball movement today. You attack the wing. We always look at Geelong and think corridor side. And to see your quick movement from the halfback was a real delight. I love the little things like Jai Clark. He had a little bit of a cameo today. I really enjoyed them little give and goes that we saw from Geelong. So I'd imagine you guys were excited. I look at these games as exaggerations of what we might see. I thought you guys handled your own in the corridor and in the contest, which is our strength, but really did enjoy that. And you know what? What do you feed Tom Hawkins? Because is he reversing in time?
He's a freak, isn't he? He's amazing. We're very, very lucky, and we got him for nothing to pretty much do. He should have gone number one in the 2006 draft, but well, you get lucky sometimes, I suppose. And you get a bloke called Joel Selwood, same draft as well. It doesn't hurt.
Well, Tom Hawkins moves like a draftee. doesn't he? Like
he's amazing, but he's efficient. He knows what to do. He doesn't overdo it. I thought his career was done a few years, about 5, 6, 7 years ago when he had all these back issues. Probably even longer than that, actually, if I think about it. But he couldn't move. But now he just looks amazing. He's just getting better year after year. We'll see. It's a long season, Pommy, so we'll see how he goes in the second half. But and he did start last year off pretty sore. He played round 1, but didn't have really much of a preseason. So I liked Harry McKay's game. It was a very Harry Mackay type of game in that he was dominating all over the ground, but missing some set shots as well. What did you think of his game? And is he going to sort of find that magic again and maybe challenge for the Coleman?
Yeah, I mean, Harry is a little bit like your parents' brothers and sisters, right? And their Christmas presents that they give you. You sometimes get a good present, uncle, but you sometimes get a naff one. And that's a little bit like Harry's game. He's Christmas presents from extended family. He threatens, doesn't he? Because, I was just saying it. I was just on Blue Abroad, my home. And I was saying the first 10 minutes, I thought he could have 12 here. And then just explicitly, he's on the goal line. And I think that ball broke someone's Hyundai in the car park, doesn't it? I don't know how he missed. I actually think it was harder. It should have got 12 points for missing it that badly. But no, it was good to see Harry go back to what he's good at best, working up the ground and working really hard. It's the kicking thing with Harry, isn't it? And I think we talked about Tomahawk. Tomahawk, it's them blue eyes, isn't it? It looks like it's going to go in. You trust him, don't you? Like, I fall in love with Tom Hawkins when I look at him. It's them blue gaze. But you look and you can see the difference. If you go back and watch Tomahawk kick, it looks like it's going to go through before he's even done it. Harry, there's always that degree of uncertainty, and it shows on his face. And when he's playing well, he doesn't have it. But I always look at the ball drop. If he twirls it more than twice, I'm like, uh-oh. If that third comes out. But no, Harry will work his way in, and I think that's a lot of the players today. They worked their ways into the game. They really did. But I suppose we should talk about that mark, shouldn't we? Do we have mark of the year?
Ollie Dempsey's mark?
Oh, how did Geelong do it? You find these players that, you know what, you'd struggle to pick out in a lineup. And
yeah, I know.
Dempsey used my mate as a stepladder there.
What happens to us all every club gets a hang. I remember I was 1 year, what was his name? I can't remember now. It was a Richmond player, took a hanger over us. I was like, oh, come on. It just felt like every year someone was taking a hanger. We were being posterized every single game, but it all happens. And Jeremy Cameron's goal from the boundary wasn't too bad either. So he was probably in the car park when he kicked it again, but that's okay.
Jeremy Cameron's sick in the head, isn't he? Some of the things that Jeremy Cameron can do, it's not normal. It's not that. In fact, if the AFL are watching, drug test these boys for performance enhancers, because Tom Hawkins is about 55 years old, plays like he's 12. And Jeremy Cameron can go anonymous for an hour and then kick a goal from 60 on an angle. Insane.
Yeah, he just turned it on and kicked 4 goals in a quarter after doing nothing for a half. So
I've got to say, Ben, I've got a big respect for you. And I love my Geelong Cats. I love watching them. Do you think last year, I've been doing a lot of predictions, and I've been copping a little bit of hate because I actually think you guys are one of the flag favourites. And the reason I say this is last year you were decimated by injury, but I think you've got something a lot of teams don't have. You've been there, you've done it, you know how to execute. And when you're fully fit, I think you're tough to beat. Do you guys see yourselves in the window? I think your window is still well and truly open.
I'll speak for myself. Let me know in the live chat what everybody else thinks. But I reckon the Cats are a 4th or 5th type of team on the ladder. If everything goes well, I don't expect no injuries at all. But if it's not a season from hell in regards to injuries, I think we've still got the pieces to win 17 or 18 games. I don't think we're top of the tree, but I don't think we're that. I think we're just a peg below. So. Who knows what that throws up in finals? Maybe we can go deep. Maybe we get knocked out in straight sets or first round. But I think in terms of wins, I think we'll be okay. 16, 17, 18 win, something around there. Last year, 2022, I was really confident. Maybe it was a fairy tale. I wanted Joel Selwood to sail off into the sunset. The year after, I was probably not so much. This year, I'm confident again. So take that what you will. Maybe it means absolutely jack shit, but yeah, we'll see.
No,
Anyway, I hope the Blues go well this year. I mean that. I hope they do pretty good.
No, I think I think you're one of them sides I wouldn't want to play in finals because I think you're not going to be overawed. And I think when I look at Brisbane always get overawed. Every time they get to that next level, they always have that implosion where it's like, oh my God, we're here. And we saw it in the grand final. They got there and it was like, oh my God, we're here. Geelong don't have that because Geelong, they're bored of success. Hopefully, you're bored of success. It's time, to let someone else do it. but no, my Blues, I think, hey, tell you what, Ben, we'll sit together. Carlton Geelong grand final. How about that? You and me sit together. Done. We'll have some beers.
I'm not much fun to sit with when we're winning, and I'm equally not much fun to sit next to when we're losing. But hopefully it's a close one. And we sort of, the lead changes a little bit, and that'll be lots of fun, I reckon. So appreciate you coming on
today. I'm hoping Guthrie's all right as well because I'm partial to a bit of Cammers. What is that? Is that bad or?
It's hard to tell. It's probably precautionary, but it's a bit hard to tell. But speaking of injuries, I think probably the whole AFL community hopes Sam Walsh is going to be okay as well. Everyone loves the way he goes about it, and he's we just hope he pulls through, and we want to see him play full season, don't we?
Especially you, Duke. He's a Geelong grammar boy, and we know what you guys are like, getting these Geelong grammar boys to defect.
Exactly. Yeah, well, there's a few others ahead of him at the moment. We've got to get Harley Reid back in. There's a bloke up in Ashcroft up in Queensland. We've got to get him down as well. So there's a few of those young guys that Geelong supporters, we need to get them back in.
Well, best of luck. I'm sending my love, and I'll send my love to Cam Guthrie as well, because, I mean, Cam Guthrie, the only thing he's achieved today is make me feel better about the first time with my wife, because I lasted longer than 15 seconds. I feel better for that.
It's a microphone drop moment. Very good, Pommy. Thanks, buddy.
So, peace and love, everyone. Good luck for the season. Can't wait to see you all.
Love your work. Take care. All right. Thanks for waiting, Johnny. How you going, buddy?
No worries. Yeah, pretty good. Yourself, Ben?
Mate, I'm always better when I'm chatting with you, buddy. And I love the fairy lights in the back. Or the fairy. What have you got? You got to make a Bowie sort of top in the background there, and a Tommy Hawkins. Phoenix Foster.
Yeah, got his Indigenous round jumper.
And is that a Toby Conway or is that a Brad Otten?
Toby Conway as well. Yep, Toby Conway and Michaela Bowen as well.
Michaela Bowen, so very nice.
Pretty happy with them.
Did you get to watch the game? Have you sort of caught highlights of it? What was your Thursday morning experience of watching of the practice match thing?
Yeah, I was able to watch the whole game, day off, so I got to experience the glory that was this match sim, which, as you said earlier,
glory.
It wasn't it couldn't really gain anything out of it apart from some guys looked really good. The senior guys obviously looked fresh, looking much better than much bit better than last year. And some of the young guys did a few good things and did a lot of, pretty bad things. But that's a match sim. It's hot. But overall, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah. No, I think you probably expect a sloppy footy for the first couple of weeks of an AFL season. I think as the years have gone by, I remember watching footy in the 90s and it was terrible for the first month of an AFL season. The standard was horrible. It was only when you got through that first month that things started looking a bit better and you see some good teams starting to really find their form and other teams just never really found it at all for the whole year. But now you're generally expecting it from round one. So we definitely don't expect it on a match sim on 38 degrees, but
definitely not.
It's just good to see footy back, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. It feels like it's been ages, but it also feels like it's come around so fast.
Who's the player at the Cats, mate, that you want everyone to know about and you want everyone to keep a close eye on this year? And it can be someone who's maybe presently in the VFL or someone who's in the senior team that you've got a real soft spot. You've got a man crush on.
There's quite a few. Cam Guthrie's one, but everyone knows to watch Cam. I'm going to say Shannon Neal.
Ooh.
I think I like the look of Shannon Neal. He's put some beefy cakes on his arms and torsos there. And just the way he took the marks, moved around the ground, did a bit of rucking, and kicked a nice goal. I feel like he could really develop into another dominant tall forward for the Cats alongside Oliver Henry. And Oliver Henry's another one. I've been talking about him on the chats for a while, and I still think he could have a breakout year this year.
I think I'm with you there. I reckon he could do over 50 goals. What did he get? 41 or something last year, or 40?
Yeah, 41.
Something like that. I think he can go 50 plus this year. I mean, he's still a mid, sort of small to mid-sized forward, but I think it's within him.
Yeah, he's got a bit of muscle about him as well. He's one of those smaller forwards, but he doesn't get knocked off the ball that easy. He's quite strong in that core, and he's got a great leap and sticky hands. How was that one-handed mark he got? That was just a bit ridiculous.
He's a champ. You can always tell you can always pick him out because he's got the blue shoes on. So
yeah, makes it easy.
It hasn't changed since last year.
And I was also shocked. Where was Tommy Stewart in the midfield? We're all gearing up. See Tommy Stewart midfield.
I wasn't. I did not expect it to happen. I was like, this is not going to happen. He might be at a few more centre bounces, but he's not playing midfield.
No, he's not playing midfield. I think with Varun, the way he played, Bose looked much better. He looked pretty confident in the system now, second year in the system. We've got Manor, got Atkins. The midfield's pretty stacked at the moment. And if they stay fit and healthy, there's no need for Stewart in there.
No, I'm feeling okay. Look, I'm worried about Cam Guthrie clearly, but I'm also feeling really positive because the hair's growing back. The Cam Guthrie hair. So that is, I think maybe it's just something that he's thrown us for a little bit for this one, but the hair's coming back. That can only mean good things for the rest of the year. Yes, it's not going to be shoulder length and dreadlocked, but by the end of the year, but it must be a good sign, Johnny. Must be.
It must be a good sign. It's sort of like that time when Scarlett cut his hair. We weren't ready for that.
One premiership.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Hopefully Cam Guthrie gets better and bring back that hair. He doesn't look the same without the hair. Looks a bit too generic. We like the Cats with long hair, the headbands, different shoes, a bit more expressive than other teams. All the other teams could be all same, but we like the Cats to be a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, we got Ollie Dempsey got the headband on, another one in the headband brigade. So that's good.
Bruin had one as well.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But this is the kind of stuff that we have to talk about in a match sim because there's not really much else to sort of comment on. But I appreciate.
What else can you talk about in a match sim? Because you don't really glean anything out of it because then you look a bit crazy going, we're gonna do amazing things, but
we're going to be flag. We're undefeated, Johnny. So come on, what are you? Like, what kind of supporter? Clearly, the flag is ours, and we'd be top of the bookies' favourites, right? If you get on sportsbet.com right now, surely Geelong's just rocketed to the top of favouritism for the 2024 Premiership. I'll be shocked and appalled if that was not the case. But
exactly, alongside North Melbourne,
alongside Geelong North Melbourne Premiership, Grand Final. You heard it here first from Johnny. Mate,
put that in your book.
Are you going to jump on in the next few weeks, mate? We'll get you back on the show.
If you want me back, I'll definitely come back.
We'll get you on a bit earlier next time. You've been very patient. Thanks for waiting, buddy. And don't forget to check out Johnny, Jake, and Sambo on the Chaps Chat Cats. I think it's next Monday is your next one, isn't it, mate? Just remember
Monday, and we'll do a full recap of this match sim and just talk about what happened to players. Talk about players we liked, what we didn't like, what we can expect for the next game as well.
Yeah, so and you guys are all across the VFL stuff. So if anyone's interested in that, check out the boys.
Definitely
check out the Patreon. It's all across that stuff. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming on.
No worries. Thanks, Ben. Have a good one.
Take care. Now we saved this guy for last because he's not really worth getting on, is he? So I was nearly going to bump him in the end, but I better put him on. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Here he is. How you going, Paul? Welcome to the channel. Co-host with the most.
I was a bit late to the stream and putting the kids to bed. I saw Brendan in there. I thought you were referencing Brendan, and my moment might come at dead last. Has Brendan already been on?
He's already been on. I think he might have had his. He might have.
Right.
He's in the live. He's been in the live feed for a little
Just
bit.
been hanging
But,
out
yeah,
Place to be. It's been a good chat. So I don't know what was said in probably the first 5 to 10 minutes that I missed. How are we all feeling about the game up to this point?
Well, everyone's thinking we're winning the premiership.
As well, we should.
No one's concerned about Cam Guthrie at all. And yeah, it's just all good vibe. Everyone just thought it was the best footy game they've ever seen in their whole life. So it's been really, really exciting. So clearly none of that. But everyone's a little bit worried about Cam. Clearly, that's probably the story, the big one out of today. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Just nice to see some kids running around with some of the more senior blokes, I suppose. That's what I'd like to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, when you get an opportunity to wheel out 40 odd players and really kind of give everyone a bit of an opportunity, it can only be a good thing, really. You obviously see some players shine. Ultimately, some of the younger blokes are getting limited time. You're not going to get to see them for the greatest period, and they do what they can. And you can kind of see that some are just taking a little bit longer to settle into it. Obviously, as a few people have mentioned now, the senior blokes, clicked pretty quickly. Others, the younger blokes, and even the likes of Jai, and I kind of mentioned in the chat before when his name came up that, he ultimately played about 10 minutes of AFL standard football so far. So he and I think we want to expect the world from him. Obviously, there was all the Joel Selwood 2.0 comparisons that were thrown his way at the time of the draft. And so
future captain, all that stuff.
Yeah. So naturally the expectations are a bit higher. And so I think it's important that we kind of keep him in check. Joel most likely is going to be one of those 1 in a millions that, rarely comes up. And so the likelihood of us drafting one as Joel walks out the door, I mean, I hope, I sincerely hope that Jai is that, but feels a bit unlikely. I think he did a pretty solid job and will be better for the run. And just to kind of, I know it wasn't 100%, the two teams going hammer and tong at each other, but yeah, I think it was a solid enough start for him, and he'll build from there. And you can see kind of what's going on with the youth. Again, Scratch and Neil got referenced before. You could see him coming along. It was nice to see. I can't remember who mentioned it before, but it was nice to see him put the ball between the sticks in an AFL standard thing, because it's been something that's eluded him so far. And as a key forward, we know from the Harry Mackay experience that putting the ball between the sticks can be a bit of a challenge the longer you go without doing it. And Harry proved that again today. Jeez, he's a hack. It's good that Pommy's not here. Jeez, he's a hack.
He's left. I think he's left.
So
hang on. I've got to ask you a question though about Mitch Nevitt, because he's your boy.
He is my boy.
Nevitt. He's your boy. I
him.
heard he put on a lot of kilos in the off season, which isn't always positive. I'm not sure how he'll adjust it. I think it was like 5 or 6 kilos. I'm expecting big thing. I'm expecting a lot of footy from him in the senior side this year.
Yeah, and I think he put in a pretty, again, solid performance. I don't think it was necessarily like this mind-blowing sort of one, but I remember the training session that we went to, that we both attended, and the boys were shocked as the training session kind of wrapped up, and I was chatting to the likes of Jed and a few of the some of the guys had been on the show. It's been great, but having a chat to them, and they started overhearing that Mitch had covered like 17.5 Ks during that one training session, and jaws were hitting the floor everywhere. Like, they were completely blown away. Like, the guy is ready to just run the ground constantly. And you could see that the way he was kind of collecting the ball in the back pocket and would, try and run 20 before disposing. Like, you could see that that's ready to kind of blossom. And it's just a matter of finding those right opportunities. It's good. And as actually Becky McDonald kind of mentions in the chat there, to see
pull that one up. Yeah.
Sully off to a pretty solid start as well. Had a couple goals kicked against him, but no defender walks in the gate and is Matthew Scart straight away. So I think it was a pretty good start. Hell yeah, but even Sammy lowered his colours a little bit last year. There might have been circumstances, but he did lower his colours just a little bit last year. So
bashed him up in the first month of the footy.
I think it was some bullshit sniping from Carlton and a few other teams last year. But we'll give them all the benefit of the doubt for now.
We can let rip.
It's trash.
Connor O'Sullivan, I think I liked a brief bits of what I saw from him. I thought he should be okay.
Yeah.
I'm so
but
desperate.
Does he get a debut straight away? Probably only if opportunities there, I feel like.
I reckon Cats Twitter will be split on that down the middle.
Not because he'd be undeserving, but but just, I mean, this is a team that is chasing a premiership, and so if you're going to be a debutant in that team, especially, at this point where, unlike last year, and I guess, there's a bit of touch wood and we're crossing our fingers and hoping for Cam Guthrie that's not too bad. For the most part, there's a fit squad out there. And so, to crack that 23 is no mean feat, especially as a debutant. So you might have to go away and earn it and, play half a dozen games and impress in the seconds, maybe more, before he gets a chance. And then even then opportunity might need to be there. So there's a range of different things that would need to line up, and hopefully it does, but we'll have to wait and see.
Renegade in the chat. He's also AKA the Sim Dog. Says Jock Clark 26 to win the Rising Star. Take my money. Don't know about that.
We probably need to have the song banked on the back end here, so we can just, when messages like that appear, that we can just crack to the cave. I don't even I don't care the song. Like in the case,
we did talk about gambling advertising in on one of our summer series. Yes, we should.
Well, we're not talking about gambling in this case. Just smashing a bucket of wings or whatever. But
yeah,
it's good. Yeah, look, I think Jai could really come along. I think Connor O'Sullivan, they'll get these opportunities. I hope. Hopefully everyone remains fit and they earn the spot, and it's not through necessity that we need to debut them, which I think is kind of what happened on a couple of occasions over the course of last year. Toby Conway, as was discussed before, full of hope for what Toby can do. But to Reece Stanley's credit, he looked pretty sharp today as well. So
good on him. Make it hard for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, competition's good, right? When you're chasing premiership, you want that. Regardless of whether it's from the youngest players coming through or even players who maybe usually staples of the 23 that have just found themselves on the outs for some reason and pushing hard. You want that. We had that in 2022, and hopefully we have it again this year. Today suggested that we might have a few, banging on the door.
Well, we all know he's better than he's the best Toby Conway's the best ruckman in the game, clearly from last round of last year, smashing Tim English. So
what did we say? Like he played one game and he beat the All Australian ruckman in his All Australian year.
That makes him. It's like the heavyweight boxing championship of the world or whatever. He is now the new heavyweight of the ruck championship of the world. So all AFL ruckmen take notice.
Look, I might be a math teacher. It might be just a math teacher, but I'm going to leverage that math for a second to kind of make, point out some obvious stats. He beat Tim English, and Tim English was the All Australian ruckman. Hence, Toby Conway is the All Australian ruckman this year. Get around him.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
I think we're going to wind it up, Paul. Thanks for coming on. Sorry to bump you to the end there, but
no, that's right. I figured I'd do my bit to try and end the show prematurely. So
it's been good. You've been good in the chat though, so I appreciate that, mate. And then thank you to everyone who's been watching as well. I think we've got up to about 30 people at once, so that's pretty good for a match sim episode, a debut episode. Imagine what happens when the real stuff starts. So hopefully people have enjoyed it. If you do want to jump on and have your say on the webcams or whatever it's called on the light or the callback radio, it's not callback radio, but you know what it is. You want to just hit me up. Hit me up in one of the socials down the bottom there, and I'll send you a link. We'll try and get everyone on. Try to keep it to about 5 or 6 minutes each if we can. I'll try to do them a little bit longer during the actual regular season, but just because it's hot in this garage we're at the moment, and it's only a match sim, I'm trying to keep it under an hour, but we'll see if we can push a little bit longer that throughout the year. You have a good one, Paul.
You too. Thanks to everyone who's jumped in over the course of tonight. It's been awesome.
Catch you soon, mate.
See you guys.
Thanks, everyone. That's me signing off. I really appreciate everyone in the chat, everyone who's been watching online. If you're not familiar with the channel, check us out. There's heaps of videos there. We've also got a podcast feed as well, so make sure you check us out on that. We're getting really close. You see the little top left in your corner there, nearly at 1,000 subscribers. We really want to hit there around one. I think we're about 60 away at this point, so we've added a bunch in the last couple of days. So if you could send us a sub, that'd be great. Don't forget to hit that like button as well if you appreciate what we do. Much appreciated, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one. Go Cats. See you later.